It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazawey. Let's talk some sports.
Let's do that. Let's talk some sports. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. It is Tuesday, November 29th, 2022. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, my friend. It's kind of weird, Ryan and Maz.
It's with Maz. You.
Excuse me.
Maz with Ermanni and Edwards.
Excuse me, with Maz.
It's with Maz to you guys.
Excuse me, I
The
apologize.
Tom Mazawey Show.
With Maz. That was pretty funny. It's just very interesting. It seems like we took so long, man, from January to get to the NFL draft, to get to Michigan's training camp, to get to Lions training camp, to get to Michigan season, to get to the Ohio State game, to get to the Lions, etc. It's like now here we are pretty much on the precipice of December in 2 days, and Michigan's 12-0. I mean, Lions are trying to figure it out. It's like, where did the time go? It's like, I feel like it's happened already.
Yeah, there's
It
seems
seems like
to be
it's over.
a little bit of an exhale, Tom
Yeah.
Mazawey. Good afternoon to you, fumbling through the papers
In a
over
good
there.
way, no complaint.
Absolutely.
What's
No,
up, fellas?
Absolutely.
Everyone good?
Real good.
Happy
today.
Tuesday. Wings disappointed me last night. I was at the game, and Billy Husotis did not have it.
Oh,
but
Billy.
I'll tell you, Toronto took over the Little Caesars Arena again. They are some type of fans, but Red Wings are still one of the top teams in the East, and they'll bounce back. Going to Pistons-Knicks tonight.
Look at you, baby.
I'm trying, man.
The
I'm gonna
Knickerbockers.
I'm trying to get to more games, get in a good mood, that kind of thing.
I think the thing too with Toronto taking over is like we just talked about kind of last week. The border is now open. The border just opened within the last 6 weeks in terms of being able to go over, cross over, and come back, vice versa for Canada as well as U.S. So it's a perfect trip, man. If you're coming from Toronto, it's a 3.5-hour drive. You drive up, you stay the night downtown, you watch the Red Wings, you watch the Toronto Maple Leafs, stay the night, have some drinks, have some food, and then you drive back. It's a perfect, quick little in and out getaway. It's even closer than Chicago, just minus the hassle of crossing the border.
You know what's going on this weekend, by the way? They call it the trifecta in Detroit sports. You have the Red Wings playing Saturday night, and I forget who they're playing. It might be, it's the Pistons playing Saturday night against Memphis, and then the Lions on Saturday afternoon against Jacksonville.
Sunday afternoon?
And Sunday afternoon, and then cross the street and go watch the Red Wings. I forget who they're playing, but all three teams are home in those 2 nights.
The
and days.
trifecta.
The trifecta. A lot of people going to that. Our guy Sean in the back for Lady Jane's. He and his friends have planned this trip, and that's the kind of trip that I always tell my nephews that, hey, man, you got to watch for this kind of weekend. You come and see some football. The only thing that would top it is if, Michigan was home that day, not in Indianapolis. That would have really done good.
Guys, welcome in. WoodwardSports.com, Fox2Detroit.com, and the Fox 2 app. Before we get into the show today,
Take your time.
quick question to all of you. Quick. Oh, God, I can already feel it.
You know it's coming.
You like Bobby Brady.
I'm in a goofy
Peter Brady.
mood. Anybody care about this soccer?
Yeah, I do.
Because I kind of care about today's match on the pitch in Qatar, the United States and Iran. And I feel like we in this country don't root for national teams a ton. We root for our city teams. We're used to rooting for Detroit.
Yeah.
But individual athletes, country sports, just not there like it used to be, I feel like. But I feel like this is a little bit different, these kids.
That's all too, because we're one of the only countries that really has like the professional ranks, and we got the hockey, we football, basketball, and baseball. And it's countrywide, it's statewide, it's citywide. So you cheer for the players in your city, you cheer for your teams. Everything outside of the United States of America is countrywide. It's whether it's FIBA basketball, it's whether it's soccer or football as they call it outside here. The original football, like that's what they have, and then we don't watch it because our top athletes don't play. They always talk about soccer, like, oh, USA, oh, look at those guys, and blah blah blah. Imagine if LeBron James is our goalkeeper. Right. Imagine if John Moran is our forward.
That's a great point.
Imagine if you got our top Mike Trout. Like if you got our top players, the players that are the best players in the world, in the country of USA. we would destroy these other countries, but we have other sports to focus on, so soccer takes a back seat.
Yeah, it feels like our best athletes play other sports,
100%.
right?
Like they're Ronaldo, their player, Portugal. Like we have plenty of players like that in terms of athletic ability, but they just don't happen to play soccer. They don't get pushed into the soccer realm.
I'm not going to say that this Mavs is like the 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team. I'm not going to say that. But there are some similarities with this team, and especially now. Back then they were playing the hated Soviets.
Correct.
They're a bunch of 20-something young kids. This group of players, bunch of young 20-something kids playing against the hated Iran.
Yep.
There's a lot going on with that country right now.
No doubt.
And I couldn't even name you one player on the United States soccer team. But you might know their names after today. They've got to win this one, and hopefully it's over by the time we end the show today. We'll keep you posted on it as well.
It should be fun, man. It's still a live sporting event in the middle of the week. I'm sure the bars are got a little buzz to them today.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. They're not as good as they were in 2014. 2014, they were magical. And you look at Blake. Blake was an awesome goaltender. I mean, he stopped damn near everything that came his way. And then also Dempsey. Dempsey was made as a number 8, the captain of that team. They were great. They captured the hearts of America, and they actually had a chance to get, like make way into the final round of 16 and get into the semis. But they tied with Portugal. That didn't help them with Ronaldo. So this year, they're young. Like you said, they're trying to figure it out. They didn't look that good against the Netherlands. Wales, a team that hasn't been to the World Cup since 1962. They didn't look good at all. They look really young. And I think they're lacking that veteran leadership that they had in 2014.
If you ask me who I want to win more, this team or the Lions, I'm picking the Lions.
Yeah, that's really how we work as sports fans in this country, isn't it? You root You root for your own team.
I'm picking
not that Team USA isn't our own team, but where you live.
I'm picking USA over the Lions.
I'm picking Michigan over everybody.
This is true. Because only if they win this match, then they get a chance to go into the round of 16. So they get a chance to be there this summer, and we can actually cheer and watch and et cetera. But if they lose, we'll be watching every other team except the red, white, and blue.
There you go. 7 minutes in. We'll keep an eye on the United States and Iran. World Cup Group B match right now, 7 minutes in. Dan Miller going to join the show today, Fox 2 Sports Director, voice of the Lions. We'll talk to him, top of hour number 2, get into the Detroit Lions. Also, some former players, current and former teammates of Cade McNamara had some things to say. Want to get your thoughts on that, Bray. But I want to talk to you about Tom Izzo, of all places to open up the show. I am actually shocked by this. So here's the situation. The Big Ten hands out a $100,000 fine yesterday and a public reprimand of Michigan State University. Kerry Crump is going to be suspended for the first 8 games of the 2023 season. That's 2/3 of the season, by the way.
He's the guy that has the actual charge against him.
The felonious charge.
Yes.
6 other players will be
helmet swinger
reinstated after 4-game suspensions.
He was angry.
But suspensions aside, this $100,000 fine and the public reprimand has Tom Izzo all hot and bothered. Here's the Michigan State basketball head coach.
You know what? I'm a damn Michigan State guy. And I do not condone anything that our student athletes do wrong. And there were some things that were done wrong. But I'm also held accountable to any mistake I make, or even ones I don't make, I'm held accountable for. A reprimand? What does that mean? We don't. What do we get to do? What changes? Come on, Fred, give me an answer.
My guess would be nothing.
My guess, too.
I would assume they're going to have to revisit a lot of this in the offseason.
Oh, revisit. Did they revisit it after last year's thing with Ohio State? Did they revisit it after Penn State?
It sticks in your craw that you
it
got
sticks in my
fined for
craw.
Devin Bush also, and they didn't.
Yeah,
right?
it sticks in my craw. You're right, because I'm a Mel Tucker fan. I'm a Mark D'Antonio fan. Yeah. I'm a Michigan State fan, and I'm not standing back on that. I don't care if it's the commissioner or whatever. I do not think that was right. So my apology to my president, my AD, if that upsets. This is totally Tom Izzo. But Tom Izzo's been through a lot more than my AD and my president, too. And I don't know. I should just let it go. I don't feel like letting it go.
Video courtesy of Curtis Daniel III. Braylon, your reaction to Tom Izzo kind of, and we both love Tom Izzo. Yeah. Surprised by this reaction. What's yours?
Yeah, when I first heard the comments on Twitter, you said they kind of, capped it, put the quotes in it, and it's like, hey, he doesn't agree with this. This is, like he said, felonious, etc. I'm like, Tom, man, look, and I love Tom Izzo. You've seen the pictures, like Rocket Mortgage every year, take pictures with him. We talk, we kick it.
Joined us here on the show.
He joined us on the show thanks to Maz as he was on the bus headed to the Big Ten Championship last year, or the Big Ten Conference Tournament, if you will. Also, he and Lloyd are really good friends, so I have nothing but the utmost respect for Tom Izzo and even cheer for him when they're not playing Michigan. With that said, save it. The tunnel has been there going on 100 years already, and all of a sudden now it's an issue when it comes to Ohio State and Michigan State. Now it's a deal. I understand he's mad that, he got fined for what happened to Devin Bush. Well, tell your guys not to join hands, lock hands, and walk through Devin Bush as he's just there by himself stretching. The big thing about this is I appreciate, now that I'm watching Tom Izzo, I can understand the support. It's Michigan State. You understand the support. You understand, hey, Mel Tucker, that's my guy, and, what reprimand, what's going to change. I understand that. They'll change it in the summer. But with that being said, Tom, you saw what you saw. You saw that was an ugly act in a tunnel. There's no place for that. There's 8, 9, 10 guys on one guy. One guy swings a helmet. Obviously, that's the individual that's getting their game suspension next year. Like, there's no place for that, and a precedent had to be set. That this isn't okay. This is not okay. And if you guys got $10 million a year to pay Mel Tucker, you got $100,000 to pay the Big Ten Network. The Big Ten Conference.
First of all, Mel Tucker can pay $100,000. Okay,
exactly.
He's been over,
and he could do that with the bonus that he got from his assistant coaches that he didn't give to his assistant coaches.
He can just peel off $100,000, Mel. Mel's money's coming. Second of all, I love Tom Izzo.
Cigars are expensive.
To me, he's my favorite coach. He is my favorite coach. I love the guy, and I wish my kid, if I had a son, would play for him. That said, he's talking to a bunch of Michigan State reporters. It's woe is me, woe is me. It always is. That's just the way it is over there in East Lansing. Michigan got a reprimand. You know who got the reprimand? They got a reprimand because they let that fan reach over the stands and tap Mel in the head. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That's what the reprimand was about. They should get more crowd security there. Other than that, the tunnel's there. It's been there for whatever, 95 years. It is what it is. Michigan will make the changes to it going forward. But it is just a bunch of Michigan State guys talking to each other. I don't even pay attention to it.
Yeah, it kind of keeps the story going a little bit, though, too, and kind of reliving all of the moments and the ugliness of that tunnel incident. And again, I go back to this. Yeah. It just kind of highlights for you how ugly and how nasty the rivalry has gotten. It's so toxic. And I will tell you, I don't know if this is I hate to use this word, but a respect factor. Yeah. Maybe there's a lack of respect, and there absolutely is a lack of respect between Michigan and Michigan State right now. But all week of the Ohio State game, I don't feel like it got ugly at all.
It did not.
Like, it's a very
respect.
It's a very respectful, and the only ugliness now is not Ohio State towards Michigan. It's Ohio State fans towards their own head coach.
Very true.
That's where the only vitriol lies. But we'll see what happens with this.
Here's the interesting thing: how would they feel if the shoe was on the other foot? Like, how would they feel if the shoe was on the other foot? If there was Michigan State, it was at Michigan State, it was in East Lansing, Michigan State gets the win, and then Michigan has 8 to 10 guys jump a Michigan State player and do what you saw. Like, when you see it on your side, it's like, oh, well, they're doing the most, and, well, their tunnel is not set up the right way, and, it's on them, etc. I don't condone it, but if this is you and you're watching your team, it happened to your team, I guarantee your thought process is going to be a lot different, Tom Izzo, as well as Mel Tucker.
Yeah, and I've seen this phrase used a lot. There does seem to be a lot of victim shaming going on from the other side.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
As soon as the game was over, everything was our fault. It was Jim Harbaugh's fault. It was the tunnel's fault. It was lack of security.
It's always
it was Michigan's arrogance fault. It's like, wait, what? Like, it's our fault we won, and you guys resorted to this?
Right.
Come on, man. Y'all, you know what? You guys are better than that.
It's all good. Guys, we're going to get into some Michigan football talk. Also, Detroit Lions as well as Jameson Williams
There it is.
On his way back. But there is one player on his way out I'd like to discuss before we move forward, and that is Cade McNamara. You'll hear what some of his former teammates had to say about him coming up next. But first, a message from the Foaling Warehouse.
Yes, sir. In Hamtramck, Michigan. Get on down there. Football and bowling put together. One great game invented by Chris and Noni Hut. Great people as well. Make sure you tell them Woodward Sports sent you. 2 ways to play. $12 unlimited open play. That's pretty cheap. And a private lane reservation all on your own, plus 10 or 12 of your closest friends. You get it for 2 hours, and it runs you $120. That's less than $10 per person. Any drink you want, they got multiple full bars and over 100 beers to offer, plus the $2 mystery beer machine. Bring your own food in, have it delivered. It's all good. Get your Foal on. Check them out at foalingwarehouse.com.
.com.
It's back. Year 3 of Woodward Sports Stuff a Studio is here. The past 2 years, we've collected new unwrapped toys and stuffed our studio so we could hardly fit in it. This year, we're doing it even bigger. Join Woodward Sports and our whole family December 19th to the 23rd as we stuff our studio. While you're out shopping or just sitting on your couch ordering presents, make sure you grab one extra and drop it off at our studio, 15 Mile in Woodward and Birmingham. We'll be collecting toys around the clock to make sure every child in Mott's Children's Hospital feels the warmth of the holiday season. It's the time of year to do for others. Help us stuff our studio. Special thanks to all the wonderful elves at Meyer and Guardian Alarm for keeping the toys safe. Stuff a Studio 2022 with Woodward Sports.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
For a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy. It's not a Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? The bacon blue. How about upgrading those fries? Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries. What will it be? Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Planet Fitness is the official studio sponsor
Is that
of
JB?
Woodward Sports.
Yes,
man, I'm
camera
back.
working?
I know, the camera's
Yeah,
working
baby.
now. Planet Fitness is also home to the judgment-free zone where you can
No
work out
judgment.
in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere for only $10 a month.
Only $10?
Yeah, guys, only $10 a month. Or you can always do yourself a favor and upgrade to the Black Card for unlimited guest privileges, that hydro massage, and so much more. So join In Club today, or you can always check them out at planetfitness.com.
You know, 12-0 doesn't come around every year, and we're basking in the glow.
25.
Right. We're basking in the glow of it. Absolutely. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, WoodwardSports.com, Fox2Detroit.com. Thanks for joining us. However you may be consuming Woodward Sports Network, we certainly appreciate it in the WoodwardSports.com chat as well. Everybody in there, thank you. This Cade McNamara thing has really... for lack of a better way to say it, has touched me. I was on Twitter earlier this morning, and the flood of comments from the former teammates. Mike Sanderstill. Here's one of them. Cade, my brother, I appreciate you forever. You are 100% the reason I flipped my commitment back in 2018. You told me we'd be difference makers here, and that stands true today. I got your back, my boy. Go be special. Love you, 12. And it just kind of continued from there. Brad Robbins, the 20th year punter on Michigan's team, his leadership, grit, determination, and love for the game aided in the change of our entire team culture more than anyone outside our building could be even comprehend. All love. Cannot wait to see his success continue. I'll take 100 Cades on any team I'd coach. And it continued. Money Mike Morris, love you, 12, praying for nothing but success, brother. There was more. Double bubble, love you, 12, from Ronnie Bell. So, obviously the news yesterday that Cade McNamara is transferring from Michigan, and rightfully so. I mean, guy's got eligibility left. He's a really good player. He was the quarterback of the team that brought Michigan football back to national relevance. His place in Michigan football history will live forever, and rightfully so. More important than that, however, it's all important. His teammates voted him captain this year, knowing full well there was going to be a quarterback controversy at the beginning of the year. And all season long has gone by, and this is how his teammates feel about Cade McNamara. I just think that's really special. I think you should give a player their flowers when they're that good. When they're that good at teammates, when they're that good at people, and he was really good on the field for this team. Did they win a national championship? No, they didn't. But again, he beat Ohio State. He won a Big Ten championship, and that counts a lot at Michigan.
Yeah, it does. It's good to see his teammates come out and support him. I mean, this isn't the first time teammates have come out and support a guy that's transferring or that's entered the transfer portal. They do it all the time. The problem is this is the first time we looked at it because this is the first time somebody this big for Michigan. This is the first time that we've lost somebody. You're like, damn, like you can actually look back to where they made a difference.
Yeah, this is one of the highest profile players 100%. Ever to transfer.
You can look at where he made the difference. You see the Big Ten championship last year. You see the plays that he made in the Penn State game, the Wisconsin game, and the Nebraska game, in Iowa in the Big Ten championship game. So it's big in that sense, but it's good for guys to come out and see it. It's also good for incoming recruits, to see the love that Michigan players have for one another. It's good to see, hey, you know what? Guys are special, and it's okay. I think it also lets other people know, you know what? It's okay to give your heart and soul to something that doesn't necessarily work there, and then you go find it somewhere else. Because Cade gave everything he had to the Michigan program. He gave everything he had to his teammates, and it worked for a little bit, but it didn't completely work. But it's not a failure. It's not a failure. He's going on to the next place to have more success. Not to go succeed because he's already succeeded, to have more success. And I think that's good for him. It also lets people see, hey, you know what? If it doesn't work somewhere, it's not over. I can go somewhere else and not lose my friends and not be someone that they look at left or they quit. It wasn't a quit move. And I think that was a big thing that this let everybody know.
And that kind of is an example of what you said yesterday about, in this world of NIL where it's, me, what can I get, where can I go? Jim Harbaugh is still selling a family type atmosphere at the University of Michigan. Jim Harbaugh is still making it about the program, and I feel like those tweets and the reaction that Cade has for his teammates have for Cade, hell, the coaching staff has for Cade. It's more of an all-encompassing family atmosphere is what you get at the University of Michigan right now.
And I don't want to disrespect any other institution out there. I don't know the full inner workings of, the Alabamas, the Clemsons, the Oklahomas, Ohio States, etc. But I will go on a limb and say that Michigan is very unique, and Michigan might be the only one that approaches it still this way. They're still trying to win that way. They're still trying to win family, the team, school, academics, being together, being accountable, working the inner works. When the team wins, everybody wins. Like, that's one of the biggest goals that I think Lloyd used to say, that slowly but surely, as you see it come to fruition, you start to buy in. Because, you're like, hey, well, if I have 1,000 yards, or if I do this, or the I. But when the team wins, Michigan won 12-0. They beat Ohio State in the horseshoe. Now, look at how many players are getting talked about. Look at Loveland's all of a sudden on people's radar. Mike Sanders still. You look at Cornelius Johnson, J.J. McCarthy. You look at so many players getting love, getting seen, getting respect, getting a chance to be heard. It's because the team won. When the team wins, everybody wins.
This is a guy, Jim Harbaugh, that probably made one of the biggest gut-wrenching decisions that he's ever had to make, and he's made them in the past. Remember, with the 49ers going to Kaepernick and staying with Kaepernick and got him to the Super Bowl. And this is a guy that was a phenomenal quarterback for Michigan and a great pro. I mean, he was a terrific pro. Could have been a Super Bowl quarterback a couple of times in the NFL. Tough decisions, man, but a great coach makes a decision like that. And you know his heart is for Cade, and I'm sure those two have a great bond and a great relationship. At least I would think that's the way it would be. But Harbaugh, Coach of the Year, baby.
Yeah, I was going to just mention, Maz, you make a decision like that, and you go 12-0, the flowers come your way as well. Jim Harbaugh named the Hayes Schembechler Big Ten Coach of the Year. It is the coach's vote and the media vote. He got Coach of the Year. I don't know who else in the Big Ten would have gotten that.
Remember who got it last year?
Mel Tucker.
Mel Tucker.
And rightfully so last year.
There was only one coach that could have possibly even been in contention.
Harbaugh could have won it last year again.
There's only one coach that could have been in contention, but then he lost 2 of his last 3 games that really took him out of it, and that was Brett Bielema.
Yeah.
Bielema would have been a great, when he was 7-1, you look what Illinois was. He was in it from that standpoint, but then once he lost 2-3 in a row, dropped him out of it, and it was no other candidate.
Harm's got Michigan to the Final Four.
You think about what Jim Harbaugh did.
2 years in a row.
Just as you have time to sit back and listen to what some other people are saying, and I heard Colin Cowherd.
That was a great 3-minute spiel.
Talk about Jim Harbaugh and
He's always loved Jim too.
How great of a coach he is, because sometimes I think you lose perspective of how good you do have it. We were so mad that Jim Harbaugh was 0-5 to Ohio State.
Oh.
Hell, I wanted him. You got to beat Ohio State. You got to beat Ohio State.
Yeah, but hold on. Before you don't do that, though, because then that minimizes, that tries to minimize or victim is like Jim Harbaugh and what he wasn't doing at the time. Wasn't beating Wisconsin consistently. Still isn't beating Michigan State consistently until this year, trying to get him back meeting. Wasn't beating Michigan State. Wasn't beating your rivals. Wasn't winning the big, playing against teams that are ranked, not even just top 10, even ranked opponents. And then Ohio State. When you're adding up all of that, then you can see why people like yourself, people like me, Maz, we were a little antsy waiting for that, so we can't minimize that.
Well, sure, but I think I see what you're saying, Braylon. I absolutely do. But I think one of the things is, you want these moves to happen so fast, and sometimes it's just not a fast situation. Look at Dabo at Clemson. I mean, 7 years to win a national championship, and then they were rolling for a little while. I mean, it does take, and I think Michigan State might be in the same situation right now in East Lansing with Mel Tucker a little bit. If you believe in your guy, and this is part of where the athletic directors come in and the people that know a little bit more than we do, or a little bit more than I do, for sure. If you believe in your guy, you got to give your guy a chance. Like, I will tell you, I'm one of the rare ones. I think if Rich Rodriguez would have gotten another year or two, he may have gotten that thing going a little bit.
I believe that too.
I mean, and again, when you say stuff like this, you just that's my opinion. There's no way I could prove it. But I think if Rich Rod got another year, he could have gotten that thing rolling in his own way.
He was a terrific coach back in the day. He really was.
I mean,
he was a hot commodity.
He got hired at Alabama before he
was a hot
went to
commodity.
Michigan, right? I mean, I don't know. It's just one of those things. If you believe in your guy, you stay with him. And Michigan believed in Jim Harbaugh, and they stuck with him, and now they're benefiting from that. Everybody's benefiting from that in the state of Michigan, in Ann Arbor.
Yeah. Also different circumstances too. I mean, people love to bring up the Dabo Sweeney bit where it's like, oh, look what happened with Dabo. Dabo waited 7 years. Dabo wins and they get on the road. Yeah, but Clemson's not a national championship cachet type program. Like before Dabo Sweeney, when was Clemson's last national title? 1971. Mm-hmm. So it's not a situation where
Kenny Ford.
Exactly. It's not a situation where it's like, yo, hey, you got 2-3 years, Dabo, come on. Like you can go another 10, 12, 13, 14, you still probably won't win one. Whereas Harbaugh, You're looking at him coming from what he did to Stanford, turning that program around, looking at going to the Super Bowl with the 49ers, looking at how good that defense was, and looking at him coming to the Big Ten East, like, hey, you got the cachet. This is Michigan. Like, what better place to jump and win a game? I mean, win in 3 to 4 years. So I think that's how people looked at it. But to your point, you trust the guy. If this is your guy, you got to have some conversations with a guy, because there are definitely things that he and Warren Manuel have talked about that actually changed Jim Harbaugh. You look at Jim Harbaugh in his first 5 years, and you look at him in the last 2. He's a completely different coach, and he's a damn good coach, probably the best in the game.
And one of Colin Cowherd's points of how good of a coach Jim Harbaugh is. Look at the previous 3 stops of Jim Harbaugh, and look where they finished 2 years after Jim Harbaugh left. That tells the whole story about how good of a coach a guy was at each and every stop he's made, and certainly, hopefully, he sticks around here.
Did you see Stanford's coach finally called it quits?
Yeah, David Shaw.
David Shaw.
He was really good for a long time. You know, it's a really tough program to recruit to. It just is.
He's getting $9 million a year.
I know.
To do nothing.
Seriously. Terrible.
They probably said to him, "Come on, man, just leave." Please.
Right.
He won the Pac-12 once.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, college football playoff rankings come out tonight. Do you expect any surprises? This is the one before the final. This is the last poll before the final poll to see which 4 get in. Want your expertise on that. Braylon will do it next. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. Thinking of a new Cadillac? Les Stanford will take care of your first payment. That's right. Your first payment is on Les. Plus, Les Stanford has $500 in cyber cash on all Chevys. Treat yourself at Les Stanford in Dearborn. For more, go to lesstanford.com. lesstanford.com.
Find new roads.
Find them.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
At Alta.
Alta time. It matters.
Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, please give Alta Rental an opportunity to hook you up. They've got you covered. Give them a call today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO, the number 2, Alta.
Alta. Uh-oh. I see somebody reach for something over here in the big chair. I'm a little bit scared.
No, so whenever you get to the rankings.
Okay.
The horn has been activated.
You get ready for the rankings tonight. I got something for you.
Welcome back. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com, Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, or should I say the Tom Mazawey Show with Ermanni and Edwards.
That sounds good.
However you want to do it. College football rankings come out tonight, Bray. What do you think? Don't do it. Uh-oh.
There it is.
I found it.
It's been activated.
I have not activated this in about 5 weeks, 6 weeks. Number 1 seed will be University of Michigan. Number 1 seed will be University of Michigan. I believe looking at it from this point of view, the committee has to look at this. Going into this game, the only team that anybody in the country, talking about the pundits, talking about the committee, talking about the analysts, Paul Feinbaum, you go down the list of people, they said Ohio State is the only team that could keep up with Georgia. That's all I heard all year. It wasn't Tennessee. It wasn't Alabama. It wasn't LSU. Damn sure it wasn't Michigan. USC wasn't on the radar. TCU, laughable joke. This is their words. Well, Ohio State just lost to Michigan by 22.
Ohio State was number 2.
And they were number 2. And they were at home. And they didn't score but 3 points in the second half to University of Michigan that was down 3 players that will all be back by the time it's trying to get ready to roll with the playoffs. I think they're going to pick Michigan number 1.
I don't see it. I would actually be shocked if Michigan leapfrogs Georgia, because, and if you look at Georgia's schedule, by the way, they've beaten 2 teams this year who are ranked when they played them anyway. Number 11, Oregon, they mollywopped them.
That was nasty.
At home, and then they won against Tennessee, number 1 at the time, by 14 points. Both of those games against top ranked opponents.
But now
we're at home.
But now look at what Oregon just did against Oregon State. Now look what Tennessee just did against South Carolina.
I get it. I'm not saying. Yeah. I don't think Michigan gets the same respect.
No, they don't.
That we give them here. I think Michigan is a national brand where it has a huge fan base, where there's so many eyes on Michigan. And just look at the college football ratings this year when Michigan plays. I guarantee you Michigan has played in probably 4 of the top 10 games this year, if you just go by rankings, by ratings.
It also could be sneaky, though.
But, I mean, you got people like Heather Dinich, Maz.
I read her today.
You got people like Heather Dinich saying Ohio State is Georgia's best chance to lose. I mean, do your eyes work?
Yeah, she still thinks the Buckeyes belong in the top 4, and she feels that they have the best opportunity out of the bunch to knock off Georgia. That was her take. She said, we'll see how it goes tonight.
But part of the setup of the committee, and this is the part they don't tell us, but this is the part that we all know from watching. They set certain rankings up and certain games up so certain people will play certain people. Who's the one team that we think still has a chance to get into this Final Four?
Ohio State and Alabama.
But who's the like Alabama's not going to get over Alabama. You're right. It is Alabama and Ohio State. But I think if you look at 2017, that cancels Alabama, because basically Alabama had 1 loss, and they got in over a 2-loss Big Ten champ, Ohio State.
You really think they're looking back that far?
But you have to, because like if you're going to be the committee and we say this thing goes, like you have to make some things that make sense. You have to do some things in consistency to what you've done before. So you look at that. Ohio State, if they get in, they'll be a 4 seed. What better way to punish Michigan, a team you don't believe in anyway, to make them number 1? Now they got to play against Ohio State again at 1 versus 4, and then you make Georgia beat up on USC. Because everybody asked about USC, man. You asked about them yesterday. This is what USC is. Great quarterback. Quarterback's going to win the Heisman. Caleb Williams, Jordan Addison, arguably the best receiver in the country, and they have another receiver that's pretty good as well. Outside of that, nothing that USC does is better than what Michigan does. Their defense isn't better than Michigan. Their offensive line isn't better than Michigan. Their running game isn't better than Michigan, although Jones is decent. He's a decent runner. Nothing they do is better than Michigan. Special teams, they're not better than Michigan, so I'm not worried about USC. So neither would Georgia. I'm telling you, you put Michigan number 1, Ohio State sneaks in at 4. Now they got to play again, and now Georgia takes on the winner of the 2 of those. I'm just saying, watch it.
TCU has to lose for that.
Yeah, I'm not worried about TCU.
The most intriguing part of tonight's ranking for me is where is Ohio State and where is Alabama? Who is ahead of who? Because both of those resumes are now done.
Yeah.
There's no more games between Ohio State and Alabama. The resume is the resume. So if one team falls off, USC, TCU, who's next in line?
I just can't see the committee, and maybe this is me giving people too much credit. If people deserve, they don't deserve the credit we give them in life. Right? There we go. There we go.
Go.
There we go.
Okay.
We need the horn.
Team USA 1-0 in the 39th minute.
What
a
header.
play. My goodness.
It was a header to a left.
Yeah.
Looks like you
right
took one in the
Very
ball.
good. Very good. Okay. The goaltender for Iran took a shot.
There you go.
There.
Header right there.
Boom.
Bang, right off
all
the
right.
right.
Very good. Sorry about that.
No, it's all good.
You're giving people too much credit.
Give people too much credit with the committee. You look at Alabama's schedule. because this is me giving them too much credit. This is me hoping that they look at what they should. Like, you look at Alabama's schedule, man, they almost lost to a Texas A&M team that has 8 losses. Like, they almost lost to a Texas A&M.
Do you give any respect in that was such a rival? That was the game, I think, in the offseason that everybody was pointing to, Texas A&M and Alabama, because of the 2 head coaches going at it.
Not when you don't win. Like, legitimately, you look at Texas A&M schedule, like, no. I don't. Texas A&M has 8 losses. Like, hell no. I can't look at that. And you look at they all lost a couple games. They have 6 one-score games this year as Alabama. 6 one-score games Alabama has. Meanwhile, Ohio State, you can talk about the schedules or whatever, but if you talk about who's head and shoulders above conference-wise, well, Alabama's head and shoulders above the teams that they played and had these one-score games to. Arkansas, I can name a couple. You look at Ohio State, I think it was pure dominance up into the Michigan game. Alabama, they didn't look like the Alabama that we know before, not to mention they lost 2 games. They should have lost 4 and could have lost, even a couple more than that. They got to take that into account when they're looking at Alabama this year. If they do not, and somehow Alabama jumps Ohio State, they try to blame it on how bad Ohio State
then
lost in the horseshoe. Then now we finally can say, you know what? We knew you guys were SEC Alabama biased, but now you pretty much have said, yeah, we are. So what? Kiss our ass.
We don't care what you think. We're going to do what we think.
That's why they can't this year. They can't do that.
I would like to see, this is my dream playoff, honestly, is Georgia 1, Michigan 2, TCU 3, Ohio State 4, Michigan and Ohio State in the national championship game. I'd love to do it again. I would absolutely love to do it again.
I'm gonna tell you like
because
this.
I think then at that point you're really, really setting the tone. Not that you haven't done it already.
You already emasculated them 2 years in a row.
I know.
Oh, Maz. Like, you already beat the brakes off them at home. You got the fans calling after a guy that's 40-5.
I know.
By the way, Ryan Day's 40-5, and they're calling after his head. Like, there's no trust within the players, the coach, the fans, and the coach. You beat them down. They don't know what the hell to do. You're about to get everybody on that team fired. To turn around and play them again potentially in the national championship game and let them get everything back, no, don't sign me up for that one.
They might get Smith and Jigba back for that game.
Oh, he will play in that one.
Then
because that'll up his draft stock.
That changes the game.
And Travion Henderson might be healthier by then. Like, I'm good.
I don't know, man.
I'd rather not see them this year anymore.
It's kind of like the Giants and the Patriots. Remember last game of the season, the Giants and the Patriots. Yep. The Patriots, they beat the Giants by 30. They break the record. Moss gets 23. Brady gets 50. Yeah. Play him again in the Super Bowl, Ryan, and what happened?
Bottom line, there's
David Tyree.
Bottom line, there is nobody that. Now, I'm not guaranteeing Michigan's going to win a national championship, and I'm not even sure if I'd be all that disappointed if they don't.
That's the next question.
Will you be disappointed if they don't?
Yes, of course.
What? So now that Michigan has won against Ohio State 2 years in a row, they're gonna win the Purdue. I mean, knock on wood, blah blah blah, barring blah blah. They're gonna beat the bricks off Purdue, so they'll get into the playoffs. What does success look like for Jim Harbaugh and Michigan now? Is it winning a playoff game?
Yeah, one.
Or is it winning the whole thing?
I think if they play TCU, they got to win. If they play TCU, they got to win that game. Otherwise, I'll be very disappointed.
If they play anybody, they got to win in the first playoff game.
Yeah, I agree. I think they need to win a playoff game. I think they need to win a playoff game.
But if they don't, you're still happy. Don't tell me you're not.
No, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
If they go down there and lose to TCU, me and Ryan gonna be pissed off.
I'm happy, right? You'd be pissed off in the moment, but I think if after you reflect on the season, you'd be happy. But at the same time, what did we say last year about Michigan football? The ceiling at Michigan is a Big Ten championship and a college football playoff berth. That's what so many people talked about last year as being the ceiling at Michigan, because you're not Ohio State. There's no way you could win a national championship at that school.
Right.
That's the next step, going to win a playoff game. So I would be disappointed. I think this is the year in college football that you have a team built to win it all. So I would be. And making the playoffs is not the ceiling. That's the ceiling for Cincinnati. That's the ceiling for TCU. That's the ceiling for Fresno State. That's not the ceiling for Michigan. It can't be.
If Michigan went to this playoff and lost to TCU or USC or any of these schools, everybody that's a Michigan fan, everybody that's a former player, everybody that's a player now, a coach on the staff, everybody will be pissed. That 13-0 would be for naught. You can say what you want to about the season was magical. It was 12-0. You went down to Ohio State. You got the huge win in Columbus, which all is true. They go 13-0 and lose to TCU in the playoffs. Like, this season was for naught. That's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you win a Big Ten championship, that is the minimum bar now, and now you keep going. Guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, get into some Detroit Lions talk. I have a question for you, Braylon, about this season as a whole. And I'd love for you to help me characterize this season so far.
That's going to be tough.
But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win a down payment on your dream home up to $200,000. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. Several locations throughout the Metro Detroit area, several more around the country. It's wicked awesome.
It's back. Year 3 of Woodward Sports Stuff a Studio is here. The past 2 years, we've collected new unwrapped toys and stuffed our studio so we could hardly fit in it. This year, we're doing it even bigger. Join Woodward Sports and our whole family December 19th to the 23rd as we stuff our studio. While you're out shopping or just sitting on your couch ordering presents, make sure you grab one extra and drop it off at our studio, 15 Mile in Woodward and Birmingham. We'll be collecting toys around the clock to make sure every child in Mott's Children's Hospital feels the warmth of the holiday season. It's the time of year to do for others. Help us stuff our studio. Special thanks to all the wonderful elves at Meyer and Guardian Alarm for keeping the toys safe. Stuff a Studio 2022 with Woodward Sports.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Downtown Detroit is all decked out this holiday season.
Downtown,
with the return
baby.
Of the
It's all
Cadillac
downtown.
Lodge and the Monroe Street Midway. The Midway has the giant slide, the winter bumper cars, and of course the indoor arcade. But you can always grab drinks at the lodge before or after any Wings, Pistons, or Lions home game. I mean Saturday, Sunday. I'm just saying, there's a good idea right there. Shop, eat, and play downtown all winter long with Decked Out Detroit, and always check them out at deckedoutdetroit.com.
Decked out.
We'll talk to Dan Miller coming up in about 15 minutes from now. Guys, I want to just... We have not talked about... I have not talked about the Lions since last Wednesday, I don't think. I'm trying to put my finger on this team this year because I was really disappointed on Thanksgiving Day. Very disappointed. Kind of took the wind out of my sails on Thanksgiving and really for the next couple of days until the Michigan win. Because I think this team let an opportunity at the playoffs just sail by them. And, you know, I tweeted about my disappointment, and there were Lions fans that were like, oh, they just went toe-to-toe with the team that is the favorite to win the Super Bowl this year. Let's be proud of them. And I'm thinking to myself, that's the problem here in Detroit. We have such low expectations for this franchise. And we don't judge them by legit NFL standards. Because I look at this season and I'm trying to figure out how I feel about this season. Because I feel like this is a season, yes, they're improving. Yes, they're playing hard. Yes, I do think they're on the incline. But yes, I feel like they've blown a legitimate opportunity this season to make the playoffs. At worst, at the absolute worst right now, this team should be 6-5. And I
agree.
And I think that is a really tough pill to swallow for a franchise and a fan base that doesn't do much winning. And I think they've beat themselves. And that's the hardest part of it. And I think they beat themselves in the Minnesota game. They beat themselves in the Buffalo game. I understand they went toe-to-toe with the Bills, but
the Dallas game too.
The Dallas game too. The Austin Bryant roughing, the Sewell offsides, the clock management at the end of the first half and the end of the game was horrific. Taking a safety, should never have taken a safety or called a play that would even give you the option of taking a safety there.
What the hell are you doing?
The Williams fumble that led to a touchdown, a missed chip shot field goal.
Yeah.
Gosh, there's 7 things right there that if one of them was different, they win that game.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, like I want to say, yay, they're 4-7 and in the hunt. But man, this feels like a lost season, really. And I feel cheated. I do feel cheated a little bit at 4-7 of this lack of excitement for the next 3. Maybe if they win the next 2 and you get to 6-7 and you're really in a legit sort of in the hunt situation where you start scoreboard watching. But I feel like the next 2, I'm cheated out of the next 2 weeks, really, of being a crazy person thinking we got a legit shot because they don't have that one more win that they should have. At worst, they should be 6-5.
I look at it I look at it through a different lens. One, I'm not a huge Lion fan like you guys are, diehard from this, from the inception. For you, also going into the season, I was a guy that didn't think the Lions were going to win 10 games. You thought they were going to win 10-9 games or 9-10 games, however you want to word it. So I look at it like this: yeah, they had some opportunities. Yeah, they had an opportunity to be in that Phillies game, and they lost by 3. They had an opportunity to win the Vikings game. That one was a hard pill to swallow because it shouldn't come down like that in the fourth quarter, up 14. You look at the Buffalo game, and they lost by 3 to a team that, before the season, many thought that was going to win the Super Bowl. I still look at it this way. This is what I wrote down when you asked me that question. I wrote inconsistent, resilient, confusing, validating, and a pretty good segue. I mean, that's real. It's inconsistent. However, they're resilient. However, it's head scratching. However, it's valid. It's validity when you look at Brad Holmes' picks, how they're playing this year, and then also it's a pretty good segue into the 3rd year for Dan Campbell as a head coach. Look, the teams that he's playing against in those, and I get it. They're right there. A play here or a lack of a fumble here or a made field goal here, and you beat those teams. But those teams, you look at Sean McDermott and the Buffalo Bills, they've been in the playoffs the last 5 years in a row, including AFC Championship 2 years ago. You look at what the Philadelphia Eagles did. They've been nothing but good in the last half of last year till now. They've been better and better and better and better than the veterans that they have on that team. You look at you talking about the missed chip shot and things like that. We've been rotating through kickers all year through injury or misses, etc. So kind of comes with the territory. I think what you got to look at is it was always set up for year 3. And I know this year it was here. You saw it. Like, it was right there, Ryan and Ermanni. Right there, they could have beat this team and that team. And they could have 7 wins right now when you look at it that way. But I think it was always set up for that 3rd year. And I think you still have 6 games left in this season. I think there's still some games you can win. There's still a way you can make the playoff this year. But this is going to be real telltale about Dan Campbell, and it's going to propel him into year 3 because now, after this season, you still have great draft capital. You have money back in terms of coming to deals that you got rid of. You have some money now on the books that you can use in free agency to get some players. You have something that you can see when you're talking to free agents. Like when you're talking to free agents now, Ryan, you can tell them, hey, look, you see what we're building? We're right here. We're right there. Now we have this and we have that. So you may be able to, persuade some free agents that actually can play. And then you go into next year, and then there's no excuses. Then next year kind of is the telltale. So for me, I think this can finish off as a successful year for the Detroit Lions. Although they were in a couple games and they should have won a couple games where they had the opportunity, I still think this can be a successful year for the Detroit Lions, and it could be a nice propel in the year 3, in which that was always the plan. Fresh out of Dan Campbell's mouth, this is a 3-year. He told us that before the season last year. He said that. So I'm kind of the outside looking in as opposed to the inside looking out. So I think this can be successful, and I think next year, he's not going to have any wiggle room next year. Next year, the wiggle room goes away. Next year, the making excuses for Dan Campbell. The next year, making excuses for Jamal Williams fumbling at the 1-yard line, making excuses for missed chip shots or lack of for the clock management, terrible clock management. No more wiggle room next year. I think that's what this year is kind of getting rid of.
Hey, I'm a Dan Campbell fan. Everyone knows that. He cost them 3 games this year. He cost them the Vikings, cost them the Cowboys, and he cost them the Bills. Clock management, not throwing the red flag, bad play calls, whatever you want to do, put them all together. That's 3 wins they should have in their pocket. That said, going forward, they are definitely on the improve. Brad Holmes' draft looking like he's got another guy. James Houston looks like he's a player. All right, Jameson Williams. We're about to unwrap that toy. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Things are there. The Christmas tree is all set up, man. I didn't expect them to be a playoff team this year. It could still happen.
But just because of that, man.
Because of the NFC is so bad.
I know.
They still have a chance. They still have a chance in this very weak NFC period. I wish they were in the South. They'd be a game out of first in the freaking South. But they're not. They're there, man. And everything is right there, like Braylon said, for next year. But Dan Campbell has to improve. He has to improve. Last Thursday was gross. It was gross how they let, I'd say, 1:30 run off the clock in the last bunch of minutes without calling a timeout. They had all 3 timeouts. They looked like they played for a field goal. I was there live. I was screaming. What are you doing? Timeout. No, what do you mean? They're in the huddle, and the freaking clock is rolling out.
And even in the first half of the 2-minute warning, they're running 2:01. I mean,
don't run a play until the 2-minute warning. You don't give Buffalo back the ball. Those are mistakes that us fans don't make. We're screaming from the couch. Maybe he needs help. Maybe he needs someone like Nathaniel Hackett's got in Denver. They're all getting canned in Denver eventually. But Nathaniel Hackett, he hired someone to help him. Maybe the Lions need somebody upstairs to help him clock management, which is embarrassing to say. You got to know what the hell you're doing, man. You got to.
And Jeff Saturday was in the same position last night.
Stinks too.
He is. Whether we think he's a head coach in the NFL
he literally
or not,
just was on the desk 3 weeks
Troy
ago.
Aikman was laughing.
I know.
Him and Joe were like, I guess. Oh my God. Okay.
But I mean, is that what you want to be compared to?
No.
Really, your head coach to be compared with a guy that just got off the desk? He doesn't know what he's doing either. Because that's a situation that wins you games and loses you games. And I know the expectation was just to improve this year. Like, we here in Detroit, we're very simple people. You won 3 games last year, so let's win 6 this year. And then maybe in year 3
9.
we can get to 10.
9 or 10.
And make the playoffs. Not win a division. Make the playoffs in year 3. So I don't know. I feel real unsatisfied with this season because
there's still 6 games left though.
I know, and they can get me back, but I do feel cheated a little bit out of having a ton more. Like this game against Jacksonville is okay.
If they get the win, it gets them back to where they were last week.
Right.
Basically, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Instead of taking the next step, and they get ready.
Can you imagine Ford Field this week against the Jags if they were 5-6?
They would have packed the place.
It would have been the second or third largest attended game in the history of Ford Field. I feel cheated out of that kind of environment.
I get it.
You see what I'm saying?
I do.
I get it. You guys just...
We're all in neutral.
Yeah.
We're always in neutral.
That's a great word. Now we got to wait to see if they can win the next two, to see if the last month of the season means anything.
Yeah, but at the same time, 5 weeks ago, you guys were looking at the number 1 pick in the draft.
Exactly.
Like, you guys were looking at the number 1 pick.
Now we can get both. Thank you, Rams.
Right. Guys, we're going to take a break. We'll talk to Dan Miller, Fox 2 sports director, voice of the Detroit Lions. We'll talk to him next. But first, a message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
Yes, sir, gang. The sun's going down a lot earlier these days. Got to get that sunshine. One way to get it is at Chili Peppers Tanning. 27 locations and more on the way. Cleanest salons in the D. If you join the Pepper Club, they're going to save you $5 against any competitor on unlimited tanning and more. They have the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, and the darkest tans. It's your vitamin D headquarters. ChiliPeppersTanning.com.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
I'm Dr. Jason Olafson, DC, the founder of the Custom Health Centers, and we've helped thousands of people learn how easy it is to lose weight and keep it off with our customized weight loss and body contouring programs.
With Custom Health, you don't feel hungry, you eat well. My name is Simeon Timbuk, and I've lost 71 pounds on the program.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
All right, time to talk about Centron.
Centron, baby.
Centron, official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings and the Detroit Pistons, as well as the team Detroit Lions. There you go, found the line. They have partnered up with WoodwardSports.com to release a limited edition 6-pack. Go to CentronWorld.com/Red Wings and get all of the cool new flavors. I'm talking about cranberry. I'm talking about the sugar-free as well as the classic. They are amazing. Join them. Help them. Crown the city of Detroit. Drink it. Live it with Centron. Centron.
All right, hour number 2 of the program here. Thanks for tuning in, however you may be watching. WoodwardSports.com, Fox2Detroit.com, the Fox 2 app. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. Time to bring in our friend, the great Dan Miller, Fox 2 sports director, and, of course, voice of the Lions. Dan, good afternoon to you, my friend.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Doing
Great,
good.
man.
Watching a little soccer over here, too. USA 1-0, huh?
Yeah, we got it on. We're watching as well. It's exciting. I almost had a second one there, but I'm probably one of those people that doesn't get into soccer most of the year or most of the 4 years. But this is pretty cool.
Right.
I prefer 1-0, Ryan.
No doubt about it.
Just sliding that helmet up there to show you. We talked about it. We thought they could do it. We talked about why they could do it, and they went out there and did it. D-man, what do you think about the game with Michigan Wolverines and how they got it done?
No, Braylon, it was awesome, and it was an awesome performance. And I was talking with your guy Jim Brandstetter. I'll say our guy Jim Brandstetter.
Brandy,
that's right. It was. It was. My concern was that passing game where we've seen them kind of come up short a lot this year, and a combination of some really inexplicable defense by Ohio State and JJ taking care of the moment really was the separation. It was an odd game because early on it felt like Ohio State had a chance to get a couple scores up and had a chance to kind of get some separation. They didn't do it, and that's on them. And they had opportunities, and I credit the Michigan defense for that. And then when JJ got his chances, 3 big plays, one a short pass missed tackle, boom, gone, and then 2 long passes and blown coverages. and Michigan's, feeling good and in control of that thing. So, look, they answered the bell. They did what they had to do. Ohio State didn't. And to me, one of the most impressive things was just that Michigan defense. And it was, as I said to Brandy this morning, I said it was finesse against a bull in a china shop. And I'll take the bull in the china shop. And that's what Michigan looked like they did to them. They didn't let Ohio State play their game on offense at all and didn't blink.
Dan, I appreciate you saying the word finesse, because that's what I've been saying for literally the last 2 years is Ohio State looks like a finesse team. You watch them against Oregon with no Kayvon Thibodeau, and they got beat. That's kind of the first time that I noticed it, but they're a finesse team. You talk about them going back and forth. Michigan looked like a team that was you know what, we've done this before. Michigan looked like a team that wasn't scared, so they were able to go back and forth because they knew that they can get it. I want to ask you a question. I haven't asked this yet. It's an interesting one. Ryan and I kind of talked about it. We were saving it for today, but do you think that Blake Corum not playing allowed Jim Harbaugh and the offensive coordinating staff to kind of relinquish the reins a little bit on J.J. McCarthy and the play calling, or do you think that was going to be the way in which that game would have gone regardless of Blake Corum playing or not?
That's an interesting one because I think obviously, to me at least, they probably would have had a little bit more of a commitment to the run in the first half than they did. But, Braylon, it wasn't like, to me, that they just said, JJ, go. We're going to sling it 40 times in this game. It was, the first one being the pass to the left side, the missed tackle, boom, gone. And then
zero coverage,
two long passes. It wasn't like methodically down the field, passing. It was Ohio State blowing some coverage. I mean, I'm not sure where you're coming with a safety blitz 20 yards that you're never going to get there, and then you leave your guy on an island. I mean, it's tough looking at that and saying it, but I think it's a great point that had Blake Corum been there, you probably would have tried the run more in the first half. But again, when you have short drives because you have big plays, it's kind of that dictates what your offense is because your drives are short.
Very true.
Talking to Dan Miller, Fox 2 Sports Director, voice of the Lions. Dan, I wanted to ask you about the Lions, obviously, because we were just talking about this. I'm struggling because I'm trying to figure out how I feel about this season. Because I do feel like they're improving like crazy. I really do. I feel like they're a team on the incline. But at the same time, I look at this season, I feel like at worst they should be 6-5. And I feel like they have let this season, and now it's not over yet, but I feel like they've let some things slip here. Missed opportunities like crazy in the Minnesota game, in the Dallas game, in the Buffalo game. I feel like at worst they should be 6-5, and I feel a little bit cheated too. I feel like they're getting better, feel like they're on the incline, but as a fan, I feel cheated as well because I feel like they could be a lot better.
Well, they are getting better, and there have been missed opportunities. There's no doubt about that, and that is frustrating. And I think that when you look at it, the Minnesota game, you go back in that game, it's 4th and 4. Dan Campbell was the first to say, you go for that 4th and 4, you have one play to win the game, you don't kick the field goal, you don't attempt the field goal, and you try to figure that out. Dallas game, you got the ball at the 1 yard line and you fumble with a chance to take the lead. Those are missed opportunities. And then, this past Thursday against Buffalo, that game's right there for the taking, and they had an opportunity. And you can look at the 3rd and 1 play call and talk about whether or not you like it. There were several options that were wide open on that play. That play call worked. They didn't execute. And there were other plays before that. You had a missed field goal. You had a bad roughing the passer penalty. You had a turnover on a fumble, things you can't do against a Super Bowl caliber team. So, look, there's no doubt you can look at a record sitting there at 4-7 and say it should be better. But you are what your record says you are ultimately, and this is still a team that's figuring out how to win those games. I think the next 6 games dictate to us a lot about how far this rebuild has come. You've got an opportunity to still get something done here. I don't know, how realistic it is that you're going to go on a run and go 5-1, 6-0. But you don't know until you play Jacksonville on Sunday. So, yeah, I think they're getting better. But I do think in this league the margins are razor thin, in particular when you're taking on a team like the Bills or some of the others that, what's Minnesota, 9-2 or whatever the record is.
Yeah, 9-2.
You know what? That's the difference between a team that figures out how to make the plays at the end of the game and a team that isn't figuring out a way to make the plays at the end of the game. The Lions have to get to the point where they're on that level and they do make 1 or 2 more plays.
Very true. Minnesota's kind of been on that path for about the last 6 to 7 years now, with the exception of missing the playoffs last year. But jumping into it, you're absolutely right about the last 6 games. That's where they can really tell the tale of this season. But last game, those mistakes, those in-game errors, how much of that was Dan Campbell and how much of that was the team? Because that's where I'm at right now with Dan Campbell. Is he the guy getting better? Or are these the players? Or is just, you know what, put it together, it's on all of them?
Yeah, I think I think there's some things that he's done that you can question. I mean, clock management is always something that people are going to look at. I think the end of the first half, he was trying to be aggressive and get a second possession. I probably would have let the clock go down to the 2-minute warning and tried to keep the ball out of Josh Allen's hands as much as I could, knowing they were also going to get the ball to start the second half. Again, the 3rd and 1, I mean, as soon as it happened and the measurement came, I said to my guys on the broadcast, quarterback sneak, call a timeout. And I thought that's what it would be. Didn't end up being that. It ended up being them going for the home run. But, I mean, go back and look at that play. Chark is open.
Yeah.
Zylstra is by himself, literally by himself, running down the middle of the field. And even Amon-Ra is open at the sticks with a step on the defender. Got options. You have to make that play. What did we just talk about? The difference between a team that makes the play and doesn't make the play. That play was there to be made. You could say, you should run it, and then you call a timeout, and then you do whatever. Okay, I'll accept that. But don't tell me that was a horrible play call when the play was right there. Chark's NFL open. Zylstra's Little League open. I mean, for 10, 20 yards, nobody's near him. And you just have to find a way to make that play. And it just, you have to be better in those moments. That's what dictates winning and losing in the NFL. And, look, to your question about Dan Campbell, do I think that he has at times made mistakes this year? Yeah, I think he has. I think some of those are overblown a little bit too. I'll tell you what, I think he and his staff have young players on this team showing more promise than we have seen with the Lions in a long, long time. Now, that has to keep growing, and they have to keep getting better. But I like some of the things that I'm seeing from players, from Okudah to Jacobs to Aleem McNeil on this coaching staff, and that offensive line coming together and things that they've done. So, and Amon-Ra, who's a star in his 2nd year. Guys are getting better here. For a long time, guys, that didn't happen. We didn't even see guys get to second contracts a lot of times here. So I think you have to balance it out. And on balance, I think there's a lot of things to like about Dan Campbell. Is there some fine-tuning in terms of game management? Yeah, I won't deny that.
No doubt, Dan. Definitely he's got to improve in that. I mean, when we're watching the game and we know what the heck we're doing, and the Lions, they don't seem like they know what the hell they're doing. It's frustrating. I don't have much hair left to lose, but Jared Goff can't take a safety. Jared Goff can't miss these open receivers. Jared Goff can't look like a statue. He doesn't have any feel in the pocket. It's alarming, to say the least. And we got Trevor Lawrence coming in here with the Jags. The poor guy didn't have a coach last year, Urban Meyer. This is like his rookie year. What can we take going forward with Jared Goff? And then how do you beat the Jags on Sunday?
I mean, I think Jared's got 6 games left to make his case that he's the quarterback for this team. But, bottom line is, if you think he's not the guy, you got to tell me who you're bringing in. Because I'm not seeing much in terms of these college quarterbacks that I'm going to feel real confident drafting one of these guys at the top of the draft to bring in. Maybe Bryce Young, but not the biggest guy in the world. You watch him throw from behind the line of scrimmage. Those passing lanes look awful small with him back there.
He's Kyler Murray-esque.
So, yeah, and that's been problematic for Arizona, and we'll see. I mean, again, they're different players, but size-wise, I do think there's some concerns there. Look, I go through the same kind of mental gymnastics that you're talking about with Jared, and I come to this. They're scoring points, man. This team puts up points, but I do think there are times where they got to be better at the end of games, and there are moments where you're asked to rise to the occasion, and you have to be able to do that. Now, look, he's done that before. He's won playoff games. He's been to a Super Bowl. He's done things here that we've only dreamed about. So I do think he deserves some respect there. But I think the next 6 games, like I said to Braylon, are really important to this team. I think they're really important to Jared Goff, too, to make his case, to send this team into the offseason either understanding what he presents to them as a starting quarterback or the questions that he presents to them as a starting quarterback.
You know,
and let me say this. The best thing in the world that happens to this organization, guys, and I'm not sure if it does, is that Jared's the guy. Because then all those other assets go to fix other holes.
Absolutely.
But you gotta make sure, and man, if you come out of this year still not knowing, that's troubling.
Well, it just
he's not the guy, Dan.
Dan, again, to your point, whether or not it's Goff or not, I mean, you look back to that 2021 draft. I mean, Zach Wilson, number 2 pick overall, benched. Trey Lance, number 3 pick. I mean, I know he's hurt now, but he's probably not going to be the guy either. I mean, there's questions about Mac Jones. They wanted Bailey Zappi in there, so 3 of the 5 quarterbacks taken in the top 15 are big question marks about.
No, there are, and we know how hard it is to project a quarterback in this league that can come in and play for you, and that's what you're running into. I mean, look, that's what Brad Holmes gets paid to do, so ultimately he's got to make that decision. But let's face it, we're all sitting here going back and forth. I mean, Maz seems sure of it, but it is without a doubt the biggest question that faces this franchise, because you do have 2 number 1 draft picks, but I'm not sure there's anything there that you're really going to spend it on. You saw some veteran quarterbacks that changed teams this past year, but man, it's a tough spot to be in because look, he's not terrible. It's not like you can't win with him. The question is, can you win big with him? And that's, I think, the question that they have to answer for themselves in Allen Park and then live with the results.
The great Dan Miller, everybody. Dan, thanks for doing this. Halftime, second half just underway, USA. So go back to watching that. And I know you'll be watching Michigan on Saturday night, 7:30, Fox 2.
You got it, man. Looking forward to it. We got a pregame show the night before, Friday night at 6:30. So we will be here for that, and you guys are going to be a part of that as well. So we look forward to that as well. It's going to be a big weekend, guys.
Absolutely.
Extremely excited.
You got it. Dan Miller, voice of the Lions, 97.1 The Ticket, and, of course, Fox 2 Detroit sports director. Very exciting time to be a sports fan in the city of Detroit. A lot going on. I wanted to pick up on something about this quarterback situation if I could. We'll do it next, but first a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts, have been for over 90 years. You see that black and yellow sign out in front of the house? Tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 local monitoring. Make sure what is important to you stays safe. Call this number right here, 1-800-STAY-OUT. That number again, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Yeah.
It's back. Year 3 of Woodward Sports Stuff-A Studio is here. The past 2 years, we've collected new unwrapped toys and stuffed our studio so we could hardly fit in it. This year, we're doing it even bigger. Join Woodward Sports and our whole family December 19th to the 23rd as we stuff our studio. While you're out shopping or just sitting on your couch ordering presents, make sure you grab one extra and drop it off at our studio, 15 Mile in Woodward in Birmingham. We'll be collecting toys around the clock to make sure every child in Mott's Children's Hospital feels the warmth of the holiday season. It's the time of year to do for others. Help us stuff our studio. Special thanks to all the wonderful elves at Meyer and Guardian Alarm for keeping the toys safe. Stuff-A Studio 2022 with Woodward Sports.
The Sports Marketing Agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Hey guys, for a limited time, it's the all-new burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy. It's not the Slim Jim anymore. It's the Big Jim, the chili cheeseburger, and the bacon blue. And those fries, you got to dress them up. Upgrade them. Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries.
Nacho
Satisfy
business.
Those taste buds at Big Boy.
Guys, WoodwardSports.com. You know, go back to this quarterback thing. Because I think what Dan says is fact. The best thing for this team
know that.
would be if Jared Goff became that guy or is that guy and just improves a slight bit to where you're finding open guys on the line. But the draft isn't always the answer. And I just went, the 2022, that guy is not always in the draft.
Correct.
All right. In 2019, Joe Burrow, that guy's not there every year. I mean, if you just go back to the last 2 drafts alone, 2021 was the big draft, right? I mean, you're talking Zach Wilson going number 2. He's benched. Trey Lance, we all know he ain't the guy, right?
Well, we don't know that yet.
We do know that.
Okay, Ryan, you have this conversation a lot, and I'm going to give you some pushback here. You say Zach Wilson. Nobody was thinking anything about BYU Zach Wilson except the New York Jets. Even when I talked to the New York Jets at the time, by the way, shout out to the Jets. Those my guy, Jets. You know what time it is. But even when I talked to those guys and they were so high on him, I'm like, what do you see in this little dude? Trey Lance, South Dakota State or North Dakota State. He played in 2 games. So the 2 guys you keep bringing up, like no one outside of those 2 organizations thought that those guys were the guy. Like when you watch Caleb Williams, he looks like something. When you watch Bryce Young, he looks like something.
I don't know what you want me to do about that, though, because if you look at the NFL draft, those were guys that were taken 2 and 3.
But by those franchises, those franchises.
But they went. That's like saying
those franchises, like nobody else's big board looked like those 2 draft boards. Like the New York Jets, nobody else has Zach Wilson too.
But I don't know that to be a fact.
Well, I'm trying to tell you what I know. So I'm just saying.
I don't know. There was a lot of teams that needed a quarterback that year.
I understand you, Ryan, and I'm not like yelling at you. I'm just saying, like, what are we going to keep doing? We're going to say, you know what? Taking it in the draft may not be it. So will we just stay with Jared Goff forever?
No.
So what do you do?
Well,
you draft quarterbacks.
What I'm getting
and
at,
you try to bring them up through the ranks. You try to develop a quarterback. They haven't taken a quarterback since Matthew Stafford. Yeah, I know there's 1 or 2 pieces of crap in the 18th round. I don't count them. I count quarterbacks that you take and try to bring up. Who was the guy from Rutgers way back when that we all fell in love with? Mike, help me out.
I guess the point that I'm trying to get at, I don't freaking know, man.
You do
Mike
know.
Something.
They always Mike McMahon.
Yeah.
They always try.
He
They always
sucks.
Okay, I'm just saying. At least they drafted a guy to try to bring him up through the ranks. The Lions don't do that.
I think what I'm trying.
And now we're stuck.
I think what I'm trying to get at is in this year's draft, the best quarterback in college football ain't even draft eligible. Caleb Williams would be the number 1 pick in the draft. And if you're telling me that guy's available, I'm going all in, figuring out whatever I got to figure out to get him. But I'm not blowing the 3rd pick in the draft or the 12th pick in the draft
They're not.
on a guy I don't believe in. That's what my argument is.
Hell, Spencer Rattler has run up the big. Spencer Rattler is in the talk again now.
Again,
the kid has reinvented himself.
Again, for people like us, because if you look at the National Football League, did you watch last night's game?
Yeah.
How horrific it was.
Horrific.
Forgot it was even on until it was like 16-3. But maybe Kenny Pickett will develop into something. But that seems like a little bit of a wasted thing to me.
No, it's
I don't
not.
know. Maybe Kenny Pickett's fine.
He's going to be good.
Maybe Kenny Pickett's fine. But what I'm trying to say is the best quarterback that the number 1 player in the NFL draft ain't even draft eligible, and I use ain't for effect. So why am I taking the 5th or 6th best guy, which I'm not sure I believe in?
Which is funny because we said the same exact thing last year about Bryce Stroud. We said the best quarterback isn't even available, and now here he is available, and all of a sudden nobody wants to draft him.
Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud Bryce Stroud.
I always say that for some reason because we're always like putting them
Well,
side by
they're
side.
almost the same.
But I've never liked C.J. Stroud. You guys know that about me. I just haven't. But Bryce Young, he's still available. I understand what you're saying, Ryan, and I'm just saying if you don't like a guy, if you don't like Bryce Young. If Bryce Young's if he's there, you don't like him, you don't want to draft him, then so be it. Then it's up to Brad Holmes to figure it out. Because guess what? I'm not the GM of the Detroit Lions, and nor do I want to be. Thank God, I don't want that job. It's tough, but Ryan and Ermanni, Jared Goff ain't the answer. they don't have an answer at quarterback, but you got to have a quarterback to win games in the playoffs and go deep runs. So
I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong there. My point is there anybody you can get that is better than Jared Goff? Do you believe you have that kind of time? Because you're not getting a Caleb Williams type player at the quarterback position to where you just give them a rate. We always point to
So you don't like Bryce Young?
No, I like Bryce Young. I like Bryce Young. If they can get Bryce Young, get Bryce Young.
Okay, all right, good.
But I don't think they can get Bryce Young. Maybe they can, but I don't think they can.
The Texans are going to take him.
I think the Houston Texans are going to take Bryce Young, and you can give them your entire draft, and they're going to say no to you. They're going to take Bryce Young.
Well, we don't know he's a slam dunk.
No, but he's the best option. Yeah. I would take a chance on Bryce Young.
Many people, and the only reason I think he might be available is because of what you've seen with the shorter quarterbacks all of a sudden. It wasn't necessarily a huge thing with Russell when Russell was having success, but as Russell started getting injured, you get rid of Legion, boom, insert Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, and then these guys aren't having success. Baker's balls are getting hit, Paul's at the line of scrimmage all the freaking time. Then he goes, awry. Kyler Murray's running around. They say he runs around like a spoiled toddler or a toddler that's tired, but avoiding his nap. So now all of a sudden the shorter quarterback has taken down a peg. So now they're taking shots at Bryce Young. Like last year, he was the greatest thing since sliced bread. Now it's always a little short. He follows in the mold of a Kyler Murray, and you look at Baker Mayfield, and it's like, well, y'all weren't saying that last year. Don't punish this guy for Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield. Whenever I watch, and you already said you like him, but because they're taking him down a peg, I think you're starting to see room for Will Anderson Jr. to be a number one pick over. I think you're starting to see some defensive players jump up into make him maybe second or third.
I think I'm doing a bad job at making my argument and making my position clear. If you're taking a development guy, you're saying that in 2024, you're going to let this first-year starter have the keys to what you believe you have built is a championship team. And what I'm telling you is I think a 29-year-old Jared Goff is probably better than any development quarterback you will take where that will be the first year they start in the NFL.
I think he's younger than that.
Well, in 2 years, I'm saying.
Okay.
In 2 years, in 2024. Now, if you can give me Bryce Young, different story.
Yeah.
Champion. Guy's done it. I've seen it. I believe in him. I don't think Will Levis is a guy that you...
that's who you're going to wind up with, and you're going to get him in the second round.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what you're going to get.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'm okay with that because he'll just be a developmental quarterback then.
But would you give him the reins in 2024?
I don't know. I have to see the kid.
Yeah,
I've watched enough of him. I don't like him.
I know. I'm just saying him. Any name.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Any name besides Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, any name besides those guys are developmental quarterbacks.
And I think that's the frustrating part because you want Jared Goff to be something that he may not be.
He's not.
Maybe he's not. I mean, he's missing wide open guys. I
He's
understand
a statue.
that. But it's in the best interest of this franchise because I don't think there's anybody there that you're getting late in the first round or in the second round that is going to take over in 2024.
I think he tweeted it out.
Oh,
why not go after? I'll take Derek Carr on my freaking team.
Hey, go
if
maybe.
I can get him.
Go after Derek Carr.
Okay, the Raiders will pay half his freight. Well, I'll take him off your hands.
Derek Carr be somebody else. One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yeah.
I just look at with Jared Goff. I just look at this. We're having this conversation right now, and we're talking about games. Detroit Lions are screwed up. We're talking about the Detroit Lions could have won this game or that game. They could easily be 6 wins in right now. So many throws, so many plays in that game. I saw Jared Goff just not be able to make.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, we keep saying he may not be the guy, or let's let him hold on a little bit longer because do you want to give the keys over to a project or to a guy that's trying to learn the position? Do you want to keep having Jared Goff be the guy to keep missing throws in games that have you up here on Mondays or Tuesdays like, damn it, the Lions are just right here.
Yeah.
And Jared Goff keeps doing that. We've been watching Jared Goff do that now for the better part of 2 years.
Let me ask how you think it will look with a player that they could potentially be getting back this week, and that's Jameson Williams. Want to talk about that, plus go around the NFL. Lots more to get to. 1-0 right now in the 66th minute. The United States leads Iran.
What do you play, 90 minutes?
90 minutes.
90
and
plus
then,
whatever they want to add in.
Whatever they say.
The unlimited time in soccer.
Right. But first, a message from Custom Health Centers. Get your customized approach to weight loss. I've gotten mine down 13 pounds, made it down 14 and then gained a pound around Thanksgiving, but I'm down 13 pounds. I'm going to try to lose about 3 to 4 pounds this week. I'm really doing a good job so far. Your weight affects your health mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, how you feel about everything. They have also helped a number of professional athletes, including Eddie Murray, former Detroit Piston Rick Mahorn. Start losing weight today. Call Dr. Jason. Call him right now. Custom Health at 844-789-THIN. That number, 844-789-THIN.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Let's talk about my man Michael Phillips at Keller Williams Legacy in Dearborn. Community is their thing, and community is what they'll get you in the game. Whether you're a player or a fan, helping you buy, sell, invest is his top priority. 23 years in the game. He knows what he is doing. Want to get you right, want to get you tight. That's what Mike Phillips is doing, so why don't you let him. 313-403-0011. That's 313-403-0011. Game on.
Guys, talking a little Detroit Lions. We'll go around the NFL in just a couple of minutes, but I do want to make mention. First of all, this is what we're going to do. Dan Campbell talked about Jameson Williams and Romeo Okwara a little bit, but talked about Jameson Williams yesterday. Here's what he said about the Lions' number 1 pick.
Man, I think that would be a tall order. You know, anything's open. I think we need to see them be able to pull quite a few reps with high intensity and contact and versatility and whatever the job description would be. So I think I don't want to say it wouldn't happen, but it would take a lot, I think, this week to feel good about bringing them up.
All right, so did not rule it out. And then you see Jameson Williams tweet this out. You can't stop me. And I don't know, what are those, battery?
Yes. I mean, his battery's charged up.
Battery's charged
full
up.
Power.
He's full power, exactly.
Guys, I love this. I think he's going to play this week. And I don't know that. I'm not reporting that.
Over Tom Kennedy?
I just got a feeling he's going to play.
Yeah.
I think he's coming up. And I think this offense, already lethal, is really going to get a big boost out of him.
But it's perfect because for all that stuff I talk, Jared Goff is on my fantasy team. So I might play him this week. I'm definitely benching Tom Brady. No, you know what? This is good conversation. If, let's say Dan Campbell plays him, it'd be good how he, didn't talk about playing him. He kind of alluded to, it'd take a lot, but he didn't rule it out. Because you look at it now, you look at the process. Jameson Williams gets injured January 10th of last year. He has surgery 2 weeks after that. And now here we are in December, when this game will be in December. So you're looking 10 months after he gets injured. Like that, he's healed. Like that knee is healed. They've seen him in practice. They've seen him, one-on-one drills. They've seen him in some team drills, obviously probably wearing a knee brace. They've seen him cut, plant, in traffic, contested. They've seen him block, leverage plays, come in motion. They've seen all of these things. So now you want to see it in the game. Now you want to get out there and see that. It will be good to see him get out there and get some reps. Now, I'm not saying go out here and, have him play 70 offensive snaps.
Go play 15 plays.
100%. Go play 15 plays, and out of those 15 plays, let 7 be passing plays. Get you some reps. Because now what he has to do, Ryan Ermanni, is now it's the mental. For Jameson Williams, it's the mental side of the game. Physically, he's fine. Mm-hmm. Like, physically, he's good. I've had the same injury. I know how long it took. Physically, you're okay, but it's the mental side. Like when you get in the game and it's a high pass and you go to high point and you're like, you're nervous. You're like, can I go get it? Is it going to be okay? So, your first couple times you're timid. You might not jump as high. But eventually you go back to what you were doing at Alabama. Go back to high point. When you're running a comeback. All right, man, can I put my foot in the ground and really drop it like I want to and sell the DB? DB keeps going. I come out like Stephon Diggs, make a nice catch. Can I do that? This is the time where you get him some reps to let him build that mental confidence back up. You build it up the beginning of December, second week of December. So, and then whatever happens with the rest of the season, at least going to the offseason, he already now knows I'm back. I'm good. I'm J-Mo. I'm J-Mo from Bama. This is what number one does. We're going to be good. And now he can go into the offseason with that same mindset of just kill. So I like it, and I like him at a pitch count. And don't change the pitch count. Even if you're like, oh, we might have – no. Keep the pitch count, because J-Mo matters for the long run, not just this year.
I just worry about the turf monster. And I know it could happen at any time to anybody. And you saw who's the Chicago Bear that went down this past Sunday? Eddie, one of the best defensive players.
I can't.
He just took one step.
Eddie Jackson.
Eddie Jackson. One step, down he goes. He's done. It just seems like the turf.
Well, you can't play scared.
I understand that. And I know a lot of NFL players are politicking to get natural turf throughout the NFL.
Well, did you see what happened on Sunday, by the way? I'm sorry to cut you off. There was an offensive lineman that got cut on grass, and that one NFL famous doctor that is always
Anderson.
Yeah,
not Anderson, but he's on Twitter.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. He said that grass, natural grass service, saved that player from a devastating knee injury.
I'm telling you, man. I think it was Tristan Wirfs.
Maybe it was.
Tristan Wirfs. Oh yeah.
Let me tell you something, man. It just seems like it's really happening now. They're talking about this turf. Field turf is all this great thing. I saw what's under the field turf. We all know it's concrete. Remember the old Veterans Stadium? They used to have this is how thick the artificial turf was.
Same with the Silverdome.
At the Vet. Yeah, and now it's a little thicker. It's still crap. It really is. And I know they're very expensive, and
that's why a lot of high school players are going down with these ACLs too.
I'm afraid to put my number one guy out there on that turf. I am.
What happens too, though, is and you're starting to see it this year, and that's why Odell tweeted about it when the wide receiver for his boy Sterling Shepard got hurt with the Giants. Odell tweeted out, man, and get rid of that turf because he himself went through some injuries on that turf as well.
That stadium is changing their turf.
The problem is the turf is old now. And that's like you just said, they're changing. That turf is old. That field turf, that rubber, they chop up all those tires, and and they keep
I can't wait till they tell you in a few years that's no good for you either. All that tire stuff in the air.
Like when you look at how old that stuff is, I played on that same turf at MetLife in 2010. You're talking about 12 years ago. Like they didn't think they needed to. It's like, okay, well, we'll re-rubber it every once in a while. It's not that big of a deal. And everybody, but now you're starting to see all the stadiums that have that turf. That turf has been bad because they're not taking care of it. They're not re-adding to it. And though it might have started, I remember the old concrete at the Silverdome was about like this.
Yeah.
The turf was about like this. But if you're not assessing it for 12 years, it dies down to this. And so now they're realizing, oh, shoot, you know what? We cut some corners, we cut some costs here and there, and now it's coming back to bite us in the ass.
But you drafted a player that had an ACL injury, Mavs, knowing that your home stadium has field turf.
I know.
You can't just say we're not going to play him because our stadium has field turf.
I know.
When you're ready, you're ready. You're not going to sit a healthy player. Certainly not going to sit a healthy player that you traded up and took at number 12 in the first round. I want to see this player. I want to see him play when he's healthy, granted. And I think, he's giving a hint. I think you're going to see him this week, and if you don't see him this week, you're definitely going to see him next week. I think maybe the only reason he may not be playing right now is because he hasn't had a training camp. Really?
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't practiced. Not in that. You can be in shape all you want, Braylon. You'll be the first to tell you. But being in shape and being in NFL game shape,
two different things.
Completely different things. So I think that's why he's not playing. Learning the playbook, learning how to meet, do all those things. That's why he's not playing now.
Save breath, save energy, and things like it's something that goes into that, and being in the game, talking during game, running in the huddle, getting back to the huddle, going from one side to the other. It's a lot that goes into it, man. You got to be ready for it. So we shall see.
We're gonna go around the NFL. We'll do it next, but first a message from Moneyball.
Check out Moneyball Sportswear. It's your one-stop shop, whether you want the latest looking athletic apparel or you need new uniforms for your team. That's where high school, Little League, AAU, doesn't matter. Moneyball will get all your teams in shape. Moneyball has it all. Desmond Ferguson. Stop over there and see the showroom in Southfield, right around the corner, in between 12 and 13 on Southfield Road. Was there this past Black Friday with my man JB. Had a good time and had some great stuff. Actually picked up a couple items that you'll see me wear throughout the next couple of weeks. I don't want to wear it all at one time, but go check it out, moneyballsportswear.com.
It's back. Year 3 of Woodward Sports Stuff a Studio is here. The past 2 years, we've collected new unwrapped toys and stuffed our studio so we could hardly fit in it. This year, we're doing it even bigger. Join Woodward Sports and our whole family December 19th to the 23rd as we stuff our studio. While you're out shopping or just sitting on your couch ordering presents, make sure you grab one extra and drop it off at our studio, 15 Mile in Woodward in Birmingham. We'll be collecting toys around the clock to make sure every child in Mott's Children's Hospital feels the warmth of the holiday season. It's the time of year to do for others. Help us stuff our studio. Special thanks to all the wonderful elves at Meyer and Guardian Alarm for keeping the toys safe. Stuff a Studio 2022 with Woodward Sports.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
What's a winter wonderland if you can't shop, eat, and play? Lucky for you, you can do it all at the Downtown Detroit Markets, Cadillac Lodge, and the new winter version of the Monroe Street Midway, all located just across the street from Campus Martius Park. Find the fun at deckedoutdetroit.com.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Swiss Insurance.
Swiss Insurance. Let's talk about somebody I do like. With the holiday season here, Swiss Insurance wants to remind you to insure those gifts, those jewelry, those collectibles, because we know people are going on buying some jewelry. We know people are hooking up their wives, hooking up their husbands, or hooking up their significant others, maybe their kids, but you want to make sure those gifts are insured. In the last 2 weeks, Swiss has saved its clients an average of 26% on insurance premiums while increasing coverage. Man, that's pretty great right there. That's a lot of money to free up for the giving season. Happy past Thanksgiving from Swiss Insurance Group, and happy holidays from my man Mark.
Hey, can I air a grievance real quick?
Well, it's not December 23rd yet.
Yeah, I know.
It's not Festivus yet.
Can I air an early grievance?
Sure.
I sold my Lions tickets on Ticketmaster.
Lions?
To Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I don't really buy and sell tickets a lot. I don't go to a lot of stuff anymore.
Let me guess. You haven't gotten your money yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is the most annoying thing in the world.
They're the mob.
They took my money.
Yep.
They went to the game, and then because I just sold them back to Ticketmaster for the price that I paid for them.
Yeah.
And then they sold them for double what I was asking for because I kept looking at monitoring. But I mean, the game was Thursday. Today's Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I don't have my money.
Yeah, you're not going to get it for a few more days.
It's freaking nuts.
Eventually, it'll pop up and say you got some money.
Yeah.
Do you have it direct deposited?
Well, I have it direct deposited. They said look for these two small amounts in your checking account.
Did you see that yet?
No.
Because you have to write those back.
Yes.
Once you do that once, then you're good going further.
Oh, wow.
Not that you're ever going to do that again.
Well, I mean.
Sounds like a process, man.
I mean, it's
I
just
wouldn't advise that
oh
again.
My God.
They want you to not see those things, give up, and let them keep your money.
It's exactly right.
Always find somebody who can get some cash for
totally,
it.
Yeah, right, total mob thing,
some
man.
greenbacks.
Yeah, and they took $100 in fees. Fees.
They got a fee.
Yeah, 4 tickets. About $8. But it was legit like $87 or $88 in fees.
It's really a sin.
Oh my gosh.
They took the actual scalper out of it. They became the scalper.
Yeah. It's just devastating. Anyway, guys, just a World Cup update. USA up 1-0 in the 81st minute. They need a win to advance to the round of 16. A tie does not do them any good. They're on their way back to the U.S.
However,
if they tie.
Iran with a tie gets in.
Yes, that's right. Iran with a tie gets in. All right, Tom Mazawey, give it to us. Let's hit some NFL topics.
Yeah, you usually do this on a Monday, but since yesterday was so special, we're not going to go around and give you every single score. You guys know who won and lost. But last night was a classic garbage game. Monday Night Football. Steelers get the win. What'd they finish? 24-17? Was that the final?
Yeah.
Yeah, 24-17. To watch that game, and I'm an NFL nut.
Did that improve the Lions' pick at all, by the way? Steelers getting 4 wins?
Well, I'm not sure about that, but the Seahawks took the loss on Sunday. That kind of helped them. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this thing, I'm not sure how it moves up. Yeah, because New Orleans still has control of the Steelers' pick, I think.
Okay.
Nonetheless,
I had Freiermuth and Deontay Johnson on my fantasy team, and
Did you get 8 points combined?
I didn't turn this game on for 1 second.
Yeah,
I didn't watch anything. The only thing I was happy with, that Mike Tomlinson keeps up his tremendous Monday night streak. I think he's only second behind John Madden in terms of his winning percentage. But I wasn't watching this game. Like Jeff Saturday versus Kenny Pickett. No, thank you.
Matt Ryan has not beaten 3 teams. 2 of them. Well, we got the Steelers, the Patriots, and of course he never beat the team he was on, the Falcons. So that continues. Next week, you get New Orleans and Tampa Bay on Monday Night Football. Joe and Troy used to have America's game of the week, the best game of the week, and now they literally have one of the worst games of the week in and week out.
It is the worst game of the week.
Monday Night Football, I'm pretty sure, I'm not mistaken, I think it's next year, they get to start flexing games. I'm pretty sure it's next year. Thank God, because I hate to see a great product like that die out. In case you missed it on Sunday, we had our picks. We did them a little early for you. Ryan and Braylon had very nice weeks. 5, 2, and 1.
Hey,
I whipped in with a 4, 3, and 1 record. But there you go, Ryan. You're starting to pull away a little bit.
I mean, I will tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. If I was really playing these games, that would never be my record.
You have some money. You have some money in your pocket.
Totally honest with you, that would never be my record. But I'll take it. And look, if you kind of just went with any one of us right now, even Braylon at 40, 41, and 5. Well, because I mean,
you're even money.
I'm working hard, man.
But you are working hard. I mean, but what I'm saying is,
I'm messing with
you're having a really good year.
You're only down the VIG with you.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
it.
Yeah,
okay.
You're having a really good year if you're really playing. You know, if you play $100 a game or whatever, or
I think we're
$10 a game.
We're doing well for you guys.
You guys, like hearing these terminologies, like you got me wanting to go watch Casino, man. Once Joe Pesci gets out to Vegas, man. Like,
you know what happens to him at the end?
Oh, well, yeah, I
know.
I said watch the movie. I didn't say beat the movie.
That's why my wife controls the money.
Hey, smart woman and smart man. By you.
Oh, God. That's so
thank
good.
you to the Los Angeles Rams who
mailed it in.
They are just done. But take a look at that, gang. That is the current standings for the #1 draft pick in the NFL April draft in Kansas City.
That's Bryce Young right there.
The only problem with Bryce Young is Houston Texans.
Or they might take
or
CJ
not, because
Stroud.
they got Davis Mills is a young guy. They might build around and wait to see.
They're going to probably get rid of Lovey.
They already benched him.
100%. Lovey was. He knew what he was there for. He knew what he was there
for. He's in for a check.
Exactly. Hey, sometimes it doesn't matter, you know.
But you know what's interesting is the guy on the graphic. Who's the guy on the graphic?
Will Anderson Jr.
Where's he going on that draft order? If right? I mean, that would be
201. He's 201.
Oh, God.
I think for the Houston Texans, it just comes down. If you look at them, they don't have that thunderous pass rusher like they've had. Like, they don't have that right now. And you're looking at, I need a quarterback. And it goes back to this, Ryan. I need a quarterback. But how many Will Anderson Jr.'s are walking through the draft?
Listen to me. You see the Bears right there? Don't give up on our team, the Rams. The Rams can easily pass the Chicago Bears for the #2 pick.
They play Seattle twice.
Yes. Here, look what's happened to the Rams. Let me explain something to you with the Rams. They lose Allen Robinson. He's out for the year. Let's put that up. Matthew Stafford. We talked about this for a few weeks.
He's not playing
Why
anymore.
are you even putting him in there anymore? Matthew Stafford could just sit out the rest of the year.
And he will.
There's talk
And
to Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald, high ankle sprain. He has not missed a game in his career.
Wow, I did not realize that.
He might sit out this game. Why the hell not?
So I know it's funny you're talking about how bad this game is between the Los Angeles Rams and the Denver Broncos. Did you see what they're trying to get their ticket holders
Let's
to do
put
in
it up
Denver?
there right now.
Go ahead,
Christmas
Matt.
Day.
Sorry, I stole your shot.
Rams and Broncos on Christmas Day. Everyone thought this was, wow, I'm going to really take a time out and watch this game. How about it now? Look what the Rams are asking their season ticket holders to do.
So in an effort to minimize empty seats, the Rams are trying to persuade season ticket holders to donate their tickets to charity. And I'm not even sure that anybody would.
Why would you want to punish anyone? Why give it to charity? I'm only kidding. It's still an NFL game.
No, that's true.
You get to see SoFi Stadium. The least you could do is that. So that's pretty good.
Can Houston win any more games?
They might steal a game.
This has been such a wacky, tacky, tobacco NFL season. Like, yes, I feel like anybody can win a couple games.
Even
right
if they
about
win
now.
one, that's 2 wins.
So I was listening to NFL. Maybe we can talk more about this tomorrow. I don't know if you guys have a thought on this today or not. But it was a very serious NFL reporter. Like it wasn't some Joe Schmo or some. It was a very serious reporter saying this is going to be one of the last years of the NFL draft order like this. They will go to a draft lottery really soon.
That makes me sick.
Because of
that does.
Because
we've wasted so many players.
That makes me sick.
Now the Lions are going to benefit here, but look at what the Rams are doing. They're literally tanking.
But they're not tanking.
I understand it, but
they have nothing to gain.
I understand, but I see what you're
saying.
See what I'm saying? We're at 3-8. You're like, okay, like all of our best players, just sit out the rest of the year.
Sit down.
Look what the Lions did last year. Frank Ragnow. Oh, you got a pinky? Sit down. You're done for the year.
Sure.
Just wait another week or two. You're going to see a lot more teams doing this.
Speaking of the Lions and their draft picks, their former number 2 draft pick, his name is Jelani Tavai. You remember him?
Second round pick.
ESPN didn't even have a graphic when the Lions chose him. He got re-signed today by the New England Patriots to a new 2-year deal. He plays in like 55% of their defensive snaps. This is a guy that they found. Remember the Lions took him because they heard a rumor the Patriots were going to take him? Oh, let's take him ahead of the Patriots. He was tabbed to be like a 5th round, 6th round pick. He went in the 2nd round to the Lions. But he plays for the Patriots. They found a way to incorporate his skill set in, just like they did with Kyle Van Noy. It makes me sick to my stomach that these things happen. It really
I want to
does.
thank Jake Wegner, by the way. It was Sean Payton who said that. There's going to be a lottery in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Sean Payton.
Yeah.
I read that, too, on Twitter quite a bit. So Sean Payton actually came up with something? He actually said something on TV?
Yeah, I know. Boy, I don't like to make fun of anybody's appearances, but doesn't he look like his head just sits on his shoulders? Like he's got no neck.
Hey,
never see.
You're talking to a guy that has no neck. I got nothing but chins.
His head just sits on his shoulders.
He definitely looks like he could be a coach in the Hobbit League.
Right.
But check this out. Now I'm cracking jokes and we're laughing. I forgot what I was going to say. Whatever. What were we talking about?
We're talking about SMA because I got to take a break
we
here.
were talking about.
Look at that. Hey, that Patriots defense.
Yeah.
Hey, don't sleep on the Patriots and the Bills. I told you the Dolphins are going to win that division. I think the Bills are going to lose.
I can't believe we have not had a shirt made yet with Braylon's face. It just says, I told you.
I know.
That
was an easy sell.
Like
the Bills have a chance to go from potential Super Bowl champs to mess around and be 3rd in their division. Maybe not even make the playoffs.
Guess who plays on Thursday night?
The Bills and the Patriots?
Yep.
I'm going Patriots.
Guess who? All these random thoughts are coming to me right now.
Let's hear them.
I think the Lions should trade their first, the Rams pick.
That's the first pick.
Yep, the Rams pick.
Are you kidding?
And next year's number 1 for Lamar Jackson.
Oh God.
That's what I think.
That's not bad.
And then at 12, you take, whatever.
Defensive player that's there.
I'll trade my number 1, but I ain't trading the number 2
Okay, I'll
pick
trade
in the
my
draft.
number 1 and next year's number 1 for Lamar Jackson.
Okay, I can go for that.
Your Super Bowl.
I could go for that.
And then take Will Anderson at 2.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what I would do. You want to know what I would do? That's what I would do.
You got me going now.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Blow that horn.
That's what I would do. Pay him $250 million. Sign him to an extension.
Cut the check and let's play ball.
Let's go.
Oh, I love that.
You want to do something bold? Do that.
There ain't no quarterback out there. That's your guy.
Fortune favors the bold.
Can you imagine Lamar Jackson with Jameson Williams,
No.
Amon-Ra St. Brown,
No.
DeAndre Swift,
No.
that offensive line?
I can't imagine it.
Lions #1 pick this year. Lions #1 pick next year. Pay him $50 million. Be done with it. Go win your Super Bowl and say goodbye.
Wow,
that's tough.
F
right
them
there.
picks. Isn't that what everybody's saying these
This is
days?
true.
F them picks.
But meanwhile, you still got a couple of them.
Just saying. Just saying.
Oh,
How
man.
can Nicholas Duncan say stay off the crack? That is.
That's all
the
opinion. It's opinion.
Yeah, I guess it's opinion. I'm not gonna rip you.
No,
You can rip
it's okay,
mine.
Nick. Do what you got to do.
All right.
I'll rip you. Shut up.
Braylon, but we're being kind. Let's get
That was
to it.
kind.
Yeah.
I could have said shut the F up.
Right. All right, guys. Take a break.
They're extra time right now.
I know, extra time. SMA. We got to get to
The
this. We're
Sports
running
Marketing
on the
Agency.
show.
The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their podcast is S word, and that stands for stigma because we're trying to destigmatize mental health and substance abuse. Listen, it is okay to not be okay, but when you feel that way, where do you go to get that information? Where do you go to find out how can I feel better? Well, Sean Jordan and SMA do a great job of giving you content, information, and conversation. Go to thesportsma.com if you or anyone you know is feeling this way and wants to get answers. Go to thesportsma.com.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
When it comes to making your haircut truly an experience, there's no better place than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to any one of our 26 Metro Detroit locations for an award-winning haircut experience and qualify for a chance to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Our precision haircut and talented stylists will have you looking good, feeling good, and give you a chance to change your life forever. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Guys, just a couple of minutes left of the show. I want to make mention to a couple of things locally here. Pistons Knicks tonight at LCA.
I'm going.
Also, Matt, you can go say hi to Tom Mazawey. Also, Miguel Cabrera announced this will be his final season in Major League Baseball. He's going to step away from the game after this season. No surprise. But Woodward Tigers, it's a great follow. Woodward Tigers
Rogelio
put out a tweet saying, "What is your favorite Miguel Cabrera moment?" And I love Miggy's great. I love him, but I can't think of a moment that's not a milestone. Not a milestone moment. Something that was a Derek Jeter-esque.
You don't remember that
thing.
hit? There should have been a double. It was a single instead. You don't remember that?
No, I mean, it's,
Only kidding.
it's
I'm
great.
sorry, Nick. I didn't mean that.
One of the greatest hitters of all time.
Yes.
That really hasn't had big moments.
Yeah.
Other than the milestone moments.
Welcome to Detroit, baby.
So yeah, I mean,
he said he's going to remain with the Tigers.
Good.
After this, he says he loves baseball so much. He likes talking to the young guys, and I hope it's true. I hope that's true.
He'll finally be able to come and go as he wants. He'll be like, hey,
exactly. Eat what he wants.
100%.
Drink what he wants.
I'm kind of nervous for Miggy now when he retires because Miggy can mess around and you look up. Miggy might be Rick Mahorn. I was about to say he might be like Rick Mahorn and Bill Laimbeer when they were done.
Oh my God. Guys, there's about 3 minutes left in this USA-Iran game. You could turn it on Fox 2
We can't
television.
get off the air until this is over. We got to keep going until it's over.
You want to?
Hell yeah.
All right.
I might as well.
3.5 minutes.
Let's
I
keep
don't
going.
care. That's fine.
I want to ask you about Miggy for a minute.
Sure.
Now, I know how you feel about the moments and all, but I want to ask the chat, too. Woodward Sports Chat on Fox 2 Detroit as well. Shouldn't he have made last year his last year? I mean, let's face it. Albert Pujols, I don't know what he did, but he reinvigorated himself.
We'll find out soon.
He reinvigorated himself to make his final year amazing.
He won Most Improved Player.
He was unbelievable.
NL Most Improved Player.
But you saw something in Albert Pujols that I don't see at all in Miguel Cabrera. I went to a ton of Tiger games this year. He is a singles hitter or he's an out. That's it. He don't hustle. He don't run the bases. This is a young team. You have a new general manager, vice president, whatever you want to call him. You're trying to reinvigorate the old English D. Enough. They should have cut bait. There should have been a way to say goodbye to him in some way or another.
Here's the problem, Maz. I understand what you're saying, but I in no way, shape, or form begrudge any man who is going to come back for $30 million. No, unless you want to pay me.
You settle and you pay him.
And if that's an option, I consider it. But
I'm not taking,
told him no. I'm not taking less than $22 million.
He probably said no.
I don't begrudge any man that's got $30 million on the table and said, "Look, I don't care if you play me once a week. I'm coming back and I'm going to make this money, or at least I'm going to collect this money." I don't begrudge any man for doing that.
I didn't say that.
I know, but that's why you don't.
I said find a way out because he's
but
he don't belong in the lineup.
It takes two to tango there.
He don't belong in the lineup. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's over.
Like watching the Machine, if you will, watching the Machine and then watching Miggy and just watch because the Machine's 3-4 years older than Miggy. So to watch him play like that, talking about Albert Pujols, watch him play like that, especially since the All-Star run. I mean, he had 24 home runs after the All-Star break.
Guys, show's over pretty much, but we're staying on for an extra minute to just make sure that Team USA finishes us off against the Reds. Oh, my God!
What a save
by
the Americans. The defenseman saved the bacon.
In the final minute. In the final minute of this Group B match.
Oh, come on. Get this game over with.
The defender saves the day.
Did you see that?
USA Soccer.
Where the hell was the goalie
The goalie was beaten like a rented mule.
USA Soccer is saved.
The goalie's at the
oh my God!
Oh my God!
Wow!
Look at the goal.
I don't know anything about soccer. I don't know who the player is. He has one of the man buns.
This game is still going on.
Oh my goodness!
Whatever you want to call it.
All
Holy cow!
All I know is that goalie right there.
Oh, they're talking to the ref again. Let's add some more time on that. Keep adding time.
Goalie shaving points.
I don't know. Holy Toledo.
How do you play a sport where you don't know the freaking time?
How
do you do it? I'm sorry. It's not a sport if you don't know what time it is.
That's tough.
You know
like all of a sudden they're just like, and that's it. You're like, wait, what?
What are you talking about?
We just had a timeout.
Game. Is that game?
No, it's still going.
Oh my God! How can they still go? It's 99 minutes.
It don't matter. They can do what they want.
What is happening
They
here?
can do what they want.
How do you?
I don't know what's
Why
going on.
even have a clock? Just play it. Tell me when it's over.
Running a clock.
You know what? Pick the ball up with your hands. Make up rules. Make up stuff.
Oh my God!
Tackle them.
Oh my God!
What do you got, black guy?
Where's Fish when you need them? We need Fish here in the worst way.
This is unbelievable here. I don't know what's happening.
I don't think
in the
I've ever
game.
seen more extra time in my life.
What's happening on the
injury
pitch?
time, whatever the hell
It
it's called.
says +9, and you're in the 100th minute. So I don't know what's going on right now.
Maybe there's +9, but we can't see like the seconds behind the 9.
Oh, that's it. It's over.
You sure?
USA advances.
You sure?
There you go. Final.
It's over.
There you go. Breaking us out of here.
See you guys later.
Thank you, man bun.
USA.
Man bun. Man bun.
USA.
I'm gonna wear a man bun tomorrow.
Download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.